Donald Trump is going on an absolute tear on the topic of migration, promising all sorts of different animals will soon be consuming migrants. And all this is obviously designed to distract people from the robbery that's being done in the Congress right now. But it's not just migrants that he's all worked up over. Again, we've been saying he'd do this and it's coming soon. He wants to expand to homegrowns as well. Take a look.
We also have a lot of bad people that have been here for a long time. People that whack people over the head with a baseball bat from behind when they're not looking and kill them. People that knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here too. You want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job that we'll work on together. But I think getting them out, we forget about them. We had some bad accidents in New York, and they're not accidents.
Yeah, I think Donald Trump is on to something, I mean, criminals don't just come in the form of people that have crossed over the border a year ago. Some of them have been here for a very long time and done terrible things. Some of them were actually born here. Some of them were born way back in 1946. Some of them went on to try to overthrow the results of an election, sent a violent mob at the Capitol, stole classified documents, sexually abused people, committed fraud, did hush money payments. Some of them have been committed crimes for years and years and years. Some of them were sued by the DOJ back in the 80s. Some of them tried to get totally innocent black teens executed for crimes they didn't commit and then never apologized for it. Some of them have been committing crimes for a really long time, and I think it's time we get them out of the country or feed them to an alligator. But sorry, that's just the philosophy that I was taught by the president of the United States. Now, obviously, he's not talking about himself or any other white criminal. No, he's talking about people who protest, probably. I'm imagining he's gonna get some people that hold up a sign saying stop the genocide, and he's gonna send them to South Sudan. I don't know if that happens in a couple months or in a year, but that's the direction they're moving in. And they have to move in that direction because that's what the most fervent devotees to MAGA want. They do not tolerate the existence of people that they disagree with, okay? They want them to be brutalized, in some cases murdered, and if not that, then definitely deported. And the mere fact that they are citizens is utterly irrelevant. And you're seeing it with Zoran Mamdani. We're gonna talk about that later on the show, but they wanna go way wider than that. And again, it's deportations, it's brutality. And so take a look at this. This is what Trump sent out on True Social yesterday. So he's moving on from alligator Alcatraz, and I'll explain in a little bit more of why I hate that term even more than I did previously. And he's talking about violence and criminality due to sleepy Joe Biden, because again, migrants had never come into America except under Joe Biden over the last 4 years. Everybody knows that. And then it happened. I saw a picture of Alcatraz looking so foreboding, and I said, we're gonna look into renovating and rebuilding the famous Alcatraz prison sitting high on the bay, surrounded by sharks. What a symbol it is and will be. And so let's try to catch up. So he's excited about alligators killing people in the Everglades. He said in a podcast interview that he's thinking more seriously about putting African crocodiles in the Rio Grande River to eat people. And now you'll have sharks in the bay in San Francisco to eat people. So 3 different animals that will soon be eating people for not having their documents in order. And you have to have 3, triples is safest. And so, do you say any of this if you do not believe that a significant portion of your base is violently bigoted and just fantasize about scary animals eating people that they don't like? Bearing in mind, of course, that the vast majority of the people that would be going to any of these facilities will not have been accused of any crime, let alone convicted of it. The very few that were actually accused of a crime, it's gonna be traffic crimes, immigration crimes. It's not the worst of the worst, which is, and I'll get to my larger point in a sec. I want to give you a chance to jump in, Sharon, but I've been getting even more angry about the media's use of the term. So we'll get to it, but what do you think?
Yeah, because the media has grown, this is the normal, okay? The sickness feels like a cure type of thing. It's craziness. I struggle with it because, I hear people saying, and I know this is slightly different, Joe Rogan even and other people saying, this is not what people voted for. He's talking about regular people, not what you're talking about, the darkest, corners of this MAGA base. But I always felt like nobody's this obsessed. Nobody, come on, this alligator thing. But I'm starting to agree that there are people who don't they want to make a sandwich or go for a walk? No, they want to obsess over how cruel can we be. I mean it. There's no time for anything else if you're going to this degree and you want people who have committed. No, that was the rallying cry. Remember, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing murder, rape. That's what was said. And now we are gotten to disappearing people who are trying to be day laborers, Home Depot, or actually the guy had a weed whacker. He had a weed whacker, John. Okay, now we're to that. And you want them in alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Are there that many people who, these are our fellow Americans, really?
Yeah, it's gross.
I guess so.
Yeah, no, there are. It's really, really gross. So look, there's a lot of reasons that I hate the term. I mean, we've been mostly focusing on why are they so excited about the alligators? Well, focusing on the fact that it sucks that they want people to be eaten by alligators is not going to peel off any of their supporters. They want people to be eaten by alligators. But it's actually the Alcatraz thing that I think is worse. And that's why I hate, like we have referred to the fact that they've referred to it. I've tried, I think, not to use the term very much. I mean, yesterday I threw out what some people have retorted with, which is the alligator Auschwitz, which obviously is incendiary and it's designed to be. But just think about the framing, okay? I don't know if you've read your George Lakoff or whatever, but words invoke thoughts in people's minds. When you say alligator Alcatraz, you think of alligators, but you also think of Alcatraz. And what is Alcatraz? Alcatraz is a place that by definition, the actual worst of the worst went to. It's also a prison, by the way. You stay there, which is not accurate to the concentration camp that they're setting up. But it is for the worst of the worst. You send killers there, thieves. That's not what they're going to be doing at this place. So when you use the term Alcatraz, you are pretending that their lies about the worst of the worst are true. Now, the Auschwitz thing, which again is incendiary, totally admit that, don't wanna, demean any terrible historical events or whatever. That was a processing camp set up for a hated outgroup. Okay, that did not necessarily commit any crime whatsoever. It was just based on their identity. And they were sent there to be processed and to be removed. Very different than Alcatraz. And so sure, it's incendiary, but is it not more accurate in a whole hell of a lot of ways? Including the philosophy, the worldview, the twisted morals that have led to its proposal, to its acceptance, and to those who are so excited about it. It is objectively more accurate as a term. By the way, it was flooding yesterday. Did you see that? This thing that we're gonna spend all this money on, flooding, which is great for a place where alligators are right nearby. And so I don't know, maybe it won't even be the alligators that kill the innocent people that are held there. Maybe they'll just drown in their cells, because it turns out that this is actually a stupid place to have a facility like that. In any event, I'm gonna jump ahead to graphic 3. We'll end with this. 54% polled said that ICE has used its power too aggressively. The sentiment even higher among Democrats at 83%. On how Trump is handling immigration as a whole, 43% of residents approve, 52% disapprove. And again, we are told constantly that we're wrong on the topic of immigration. You guys don't understand. The Republicans were speaking to an actual fear. You guys better catch up. You better become as brutal and heartless and cruel as the Republicans so that you can finally be as accepted by the population as Donald Trump, whose immigration policy people already hate, already. We don't even have people yet being eaten by sharks and crocodiles and alligators, and they already think that it's insane. So again, maybe we're not as crazy as we've been told that we are.